My name is Jun Jia Eugene and my number is 7.
Okay, Eugene, what are the muscle groups utilized in the push press?
The muscle groups utilized are your triceps, your trapezius, and your deltoids.
Okay, what are some of the techniques that you must take note of?
First, place the bar on the rack and load it up with appropriate weight. Next, go under the bar and allow it to rest evenly on your shoulder. Next, hold the bar, grab the bar with an overhand grip slightly wider than your shoulder width. Next, bring the bar up, lift the bar up and make a few steps backwards. Then you will make a small dip and jump into a semi-split position. With the help of the two spotters at the side, bring the bar back to your shoulder and rest it on your shoulder. Remember to inhale when you are bringing the bar down and to exhale when you are extending the bar upwards.
Okay, what are some of the variation exercises?
The variation exercises are military press, shoulder press, and bench press.
What are the safety precautions?
You have to maintain straight back at all time, and also do not land in straight legs as this might cause pressure on your ankles and your knees. Also, have two spotters to help you bring the bar down.
Okay, Eugene, what are the muscle groups utilized in the back squat?
The muscle group utilized are your quadriceps, hamstring, and gluteus maximus.
What are some of the techniques that you must take note of?
First, place the bar on the rack and load it with appropriate weight. Next, go underneath the bar and place it, allow it to rest evenly on your shoulder. Next, lift the bar up, hold the bar, grab the bar with an overhand grip slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Then you lift the bar up and take a few steps back. Squat down by sitting back instead of letting your knees go over your toes. Then extend your knee upwards to complete one repetition of the back squat. Remember to exhale when you are extending your knee upwards and also to inhale when you are squatting downwards.
What are some of the variation exercises?
The variation exercises includes deadlift, hamstring curl, and front squats.
What are the safety precautions?
One of the safety precautions are to maintain straight back by leaning slightly forward and to squeeze your shoulder blade, and also to do weight of appropriate weight. Also, you should have two spotters at the side in case the weight is too heavy. Also, remember to not allow your knees to go over your toes as this might cause pressure on your knees, which will lead to injuries in future.
Okay, Eugene, what are the muscle groups utilized in the incline bench press?
The muscle groups utilized are your tricep, your pectorals, and your deltoids.
What are some of the techniques that you must take note of?
First, place the bar onto the bench press machine and load it up to an appropriate weight. Next, elevate the bench to 45 degrees. Then you lie down on the bench and ensure that your eye level is in line with the bar. Next, grab the bar with an overhand grip and shoulder width, slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Next, extend your elbow and bring the bar to directly above your shoulder, your chest. Next, flex your elbow to bring the bar down to your chest, and then to extend your elbow to complete one repetition of the incline bench press. Exhale when you are extending your elbow, and inhale when you are flexing your elbow to bring the bar down.
Okay, what are some of the variation exercises?
The variation exercises includes bench press, shoulder press, and push-up.
Okay, what are the safety precautions?
The safety precaution is to not bring the bar towards your neck. Instead, it should be brought towards your chest. Also, ensure that you have two spotters at your side to help when the weight is too heavy. Also, maintain straight back by placing your feet onto the bench, onto the support in front of the bench press machine to have full back support.
Okay, Eugene, what are the muscle groups utilized in the deadlift?
The muscle group utilized in the deadlift are your quadricep, hamstring, and gluteus maximus.
What are some of the techniques that you must take note of?
Firstly, load the bar and place it on the ground. Next, place your feet under the bar and stand shoulder width apart. You can squat down to hold the bar with an overhand grip slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Next, lift the bar up to slightly above your knee level with your with your elbow extended. Squeeze your shoulder blades and to lean slightly forward to maintain straight back. Then squat downwards by sitting back, and then extend your knees upwards to complete one repetition of the deadlift. Inhale when you are squatting downwards, and exhale when you are extending your knee upwards.
What are some of the variation exercises?
Some variation exercises includes front squat, back squat, lunges, and leg press.
What are the safety precautions?
The safety precaution of deadlift is to maintain straight back at all times. You can do so by leaning slightly forward or squeezing your shoulder blade. Also, ensure that your knees do not go over your toes, as this might cause pressure on your knees, which might make you injured as you do your gym program.
Okay, Eugene, what are the muscle groups utilized in the easy bar pullover?
The muscle group utilized in an easy bar pullover is tricep.
What are some of the techniques that you must take note of?
Firstly, load up the easy bar with appropriate weight. Then, lie down onto the bench and place your feet onto the bench to maintain full back support. Then, bring the bar alongside your eye level. Then, flex your elbow to bring the bar downwards, and then extend your elbow by lifting the bar back to the original position to complete one repetition of the easy bar pullover. When you extend your elbow, remember to exhale, and when you flex your elbow, inhale.
Okay, what are some of the variation exercises?
The variation exercises for easy bar pullover is tricep and pull-ups, tricep extensions and pull-up.
What are the safety precautions?
The safety precaution is to not jerk and to have a controlled movement. Also, do not hyperextend your elbow, as this might cause pressure onto your elbow joints. Also, place your feet onto the bench to maintain full back support at all times.
Okay, what is the relevance of your weight training program to your sport in volleyball?
My weight training program is designed for in-season power program for a volleyball player. It trains my upper body strength and my lower body strength. For the upper body exercises, I have included push press, incline bench press, and easy bar pullovers. For push press, it trains my tricep, my deltoid, and my trapezius. For incline bench press, it trains my my tricep, my pectoralis, and my deltoids. And lastly, for the easy bar pullovers, it trains my triceps. This makes my hand muscle to be stronger, especially for my deltoids and my triceps. This allows me to spike faster and harder in a volleyball match. For the lower body exercises, I have included deadlift and back squats. These both exercises trains my hamstring, quadriceps, and gluteus maximus. This allows me to have stronger leg muscle, which enable me to jump higher, to block, to spike, and to have quicker leg movements on court when I defend.